Three, two, one, go. Hello and hello and welcome. It is I, Joseph, and that is Jameson, and we are productivity and procrastination. And this week's episode is episode 42. Surprise. We're here to talk about how to go from how to achieve your dreams, your goals, the pitfalls, the fly traps, and other things that mean traps, the spike traps, which I would argue is just a pitfall with spikes on the bottom.
You won't get much of an argument from me. I agree.
I don't like that it has its own name when you just add. Is there like such thing as like a rock trap? A rock trap implies that rocks are coming down from something and squishing you.
Yes, I would think so.
Yeah,
Why would you be traversing up a hill though with this like huge wall of rock being held by like twine or something?
It's a funny
Swiss Family Robinson's images come to mind. All right, so this is season 2.
Oh, is it? Yeah, yeah. I thought this was still season 1.
Of getting stuff done.
Getting stuff done.
So they say.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We kind of go over things that like our pitfalls, our how to be more productive. We talk about our struggles and then like try to figure out ways. Bless me, our ways through them.
Yeah. Yeah. Because thinking about your stuff is important. That's, the general gist of getting things done.
Well, that I think accountability is what really is important.
Ah. Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of a big piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, I think, if you were very, very honest with yourself and took a very, very long period to digest the things that you do, maybe could be as powerful as having somebody else, spitting some words, calling you out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be done, but it takes more mental energy, that's for sure. So, what are we going to talk about, Joe?
I don't know. End of episode. Good night, everybody.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I'm a jokester. James started the episode off with a meme of some jokes. And so I'm in a better mood now.
It's good.
I had to wake up. I was in a foul mood. And then I woke up and James made jokes. He made
anyway.
Jokes.
Yeah, and since it's not funny on what you're hearing right now, we'll talk about serious matters at hand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We'll talk about the serious. Okay. So, James.
Yeah.
How was your week? Let's not specifically talk about how much work you did first. How was your week?
Good, because I didn't do much.
How you feeling this week? How's
well, I had a plan this week.
What was your plan?
My plan was to do some work.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I would say I started working, I started doing a shoot with Heather. And I could tell that I just wanted a break. And so, I mean, I worked that day with her. It wasn't like an immense period of time. I mean, we got a decent amount of work done over 2 days. But I knew I needed a day off. I had been working hard for a while now. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take one of my stinking days off, and I'm just going to have fun and take it off. Have an actual day off. I need it.
Absolutely.
And so I did. I took, I mean, I still did a little work that day, but I generally took the whole stinking day practically, and then just played games and relaxed and did whatever I felt like I wanted to do, and I just didn't think about anything progression-wise. And I felt really good about that because I thought, hey, I got a plan here, I took Saturday off, and I'm going to like do some family stuff in the morning, but then after that, I had a plan. I was going to maybe write. And I was looking forward to it, but then life hit. So, yeah, the day before that, so Friday night, while I was at work, my wife texted me and said, "Oh, the fridge is bad. The fridge is out. Her food's going bad." So that began the process of me. So then my Saturday turned into waking up at like 5 something in the morning and then going to like Home Depot and renting a truck and going to Lowe's with the Home Depot truck, then getting the one damn fridge that met our specifications and dimensions that we needed and all of that, and then getting it home and then taking off my front door so I could get it in. And but before that, I had to wake up the neighbor because my dolly's apparently pneumatic and my pump was left in the car that I left over at Home Depot. And so I had to wait for somebody to wake up so I could pump up my tires, so I could take my fridge down, so I could take off my door, so I could bring it in. So this whole stinking day was like, and not even that, it's still not done. I have like this other fridge I gotta take out. I gotta take my door off again. I gotta take that out. So then, connecting water lines, fixing leaks. So anyway, all my plans destroyed, and the fridge is nice though. I have a nice water filter now. I never had one of those types of fridges.
Oh, you have the water.
Yeah, I can get water in the front. You choose between the ice I want, and
that's cool.
It's nice.
What are your ice options?
Well, not big ice. It's like maybe crushed and then solid, but still, there's a choice.
There's a choice.
So yeah, still dealing with a little bit of that. So that kind of ruined my my plan to do something on Saturday and enjoy and get a little bit more work done. So it turned into nope. Got to deal with food rotting and all sorts of things. And but I've been like feeling it out. I've been like, how do I feel about that? I guess I was just annoyed that I wanted to take one day off, but then I wanted to still get enough done to feel good. Mm-hmm. And then I couldn't because of circumstances, but it's a little annoying. It's like I feel bad about taking the day off now. And I guess, I don't know, I just feel bad about it. But I really shouldn't, because I decided to take the day off, and I was enjoying it in that day. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a bummer that I couldn't end well, but I don't know. It's just a feeling. I know it's just a circumstance, but I feel like my streak was popped and it was annoying to me. But I'll get
I
back
feel that.
on and go from here.
Yeah, I feel that frustration. I'm feeling a bit of that frustration myself. Um, it feels like things are getting in my way, and I'm not able to get as much done as I want. Like getting enough done so like I can feel like satisfied.
Yeah.
Because I think we're we're used to working on our stuff now, and so we're used to that like that the attaboy that we feel when we've done enough, and we just haven't gotten to that point yet. So yeah, yeah, I think we need to understand that there are things that are going to get in our way, but they're temporary. And it's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's where I think that's the trick. I think that's the core I think of success is persistence. So
Coffee.
so that was your Saturday. How was your Wednesday and Thursday?
Um, my Wednesday, I I worked a little bit on my Wednesday with Heather. I worked a little bit on my Thursday too, but I took my whole Thursday off. It basically was my play day.
Nice. What'd you do?
I played Borderlands 3
Nice. How are you liking it?
mostly. I'm liking it. It's giving me Mass Effect 2 vibes a little bit, which I like. Friday, I was gonna do stuff myself, but my neighbor moved back in with his family next to me, and he wanted to go for a talk. So I ended up having to do that day.
Glad
So
to hear
just
that.
like, yeah, just like and then yeah, that night fridge broke, so all of Saturday was that, and Sunday was that and bills, and now I'm here. So pretty much yeah, my last days that I thought I was gonna kick it in gear just kind of got interrupted by
Yeah.
people and problems. But you know, I guess looking at it that way, you know, hey, I mean, if it would have happened early in the week, I would have adjusted. But since it happened my last few days, there's not really much I can do. So I guess I shouldn't feel bad.
No, I think you're fine. I think as long as you're, you just keep riding your horse. Don't let like things knock you off. You're gonna get where you need to go.
It's a new week, so
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
my week is pretty much the same. Like I woke up early on majority of the days. I'm trying to remember how many exactly, but majority of them. And then I just worked on it. I didn't like I worked on the face, and like the lines that I've made are so like they feel so minuscule for how many hours I've invested in them. It's so frustrating. It's I don't know why this is so hard for me.
So you didn't lock in a face then? You still
No,
working
no, no.
on that then?
My face is my face is mostly locked in. Like I need to do redo the chin, but everything else is locked in. I just it's a lot, and I might just like leave the chin as it is. I'll have to take another look at it because I need fresh eyes. But it just feels demotivating because like the first day I had so much drawn and so much created, and then it feels like I'm just like slowing down exponentially. Is there like what's the term for, because exponential is like up, right? Or well, exponential is
Is
a
a more of like a graduation into an extreme
yeah,
mathematically.
yeah. It
So,
feels like I'm slowing down exponentially. So
oh,
I wonder if there's like a
well, just
downwards
call it
exponential.
digression.
Yeah, digression exponentially. Digre- I don't know.
Exponential digression.
There we go. You found it. Um, it just feels like I'm slower and slower and slower, and it's just like ugh. I want I want to be faster. I'm getting impatient. I want to get creation done. And yesterday I was working on it, and then my brother came over and we played some cards. I'm getting into the One Piece card game, and then because I did that this morning. I was working on it, and then basically my day was filled with when I wasn't doing something with somebody, I was working on it. So it wasn't like I was, slacking, but it's just you know, it feels like because of so there's two I'm gonna say this in a silly way. There's two wolves in fighting inside of me. One wolf is me wanting to get the things done, and me wanting to say, "No, don't come over. I'm busy. I have to get this done. I need to work on this." The other wolf is like, "Okay, well, your brother's excited about this. This is important to him. He wants to spend time with you. Just spend time with your brother. It's not that big of a deal. And have fun, because I will have fun." And so it's like, my issue is like I just don't feel like I've had enough. I have enough free time to actually do as much as I want to get done. And there's like a hunger for getting things done. My allergies are kicking this morning.
Well, I mean, from what you just said, the logical question for me to ask is, y the things that you allot to your time. I mean, you you don't have to drive to work. That's an hour every day, 5 days a week anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That you have. That, well, I don't have. Um, but obviously you must have some commitments because, I mean, the only commitments I have, I'll tell you all my commitments, and that way you kind of maybe gauge against yours and kind of decide what you're doing there. But on Monday, my Mondays are completely shot. There's nothing I can do on Monday. They're already booked. I go to my dad's house after this, and then I go to work. The whole day is gone. Tuesday morning, you could say that maybe be the only day, technically, that I don't really have anything planned and nobody is really calling on me. So, like, I can actually do something on Tuesdays. I have made it so that Wednesdays are completely open. Thursdays, I spend time with my daughter for like the first half of the day. After that, open. Friday, before work, open. Saturday, before work, open. Sunday, before work, open. Obviously, I do things with my family just intrinsically. You know, I at least have a meal with them. But I don't necessarily do anything with them during the week except for eat and watch a show at like midnight. That's it. So, you know, obviously you probably have more friends than me. Because, you know, uh, um, but I have a lot of open that I can kind of slot in depending on what happens. You know, I have a little bit of upkeep I gotta do, maybe mow the lawn or do something or whatever. But generally speaking, I've made my life so that I have not a lot of commitments anywhere. If you say that time is a problem and you wish you had a little bit more, you know, of that, then I guess I would have to say you must have many more commitments than me, because you should have a little bit of time each day, kind of like me, where I could maybe find a few hours each day. And if you can't, I ask why. Is it because after work you have a bunch of hours, but it's not productive hours because it's, you know, you're kind of spent mentally and you just need, you know, that's a scheduling, you know, issue too. You know, so the time should be there unless you're so booked that
So
can't
I'll
get
go
something
over
done.
my schedule.
Okay.
It's definitely more full than yours, but that's not probably too much of a surprise. So my schedule is Mondays after this is typically just work day. Like the plan is just to work on stuff. But today, my brother's gonna be coming over and we're gonna be playing the One Piece TCG. So I don't know what time he's coming over, but after our episode, I'm just gonna work on art until he shows up. And then Tuesday, before work, I've got, you know, I wake up at 6, work for my 2 hours. And then after work, I have Between the Clouds, which is like a TTRPG that I'm playing with a friend, or with a couple friends. And then Wednesday, I don't have anything planned. So before work is the 2 hours, and then after work, depending on how I feel, work on something. If it's not the illustration, then maybe I just, you know, maybe doodle or relax or something, depending on how I feel. Thursday, I have D&D with my little humans, and that goes from right after work. So before work, art. After work, it's D&D with the little humans until about 8 or 9. So it's like usually about 3 hours, 4 hours.
So pretty much the whole night because
Yeah.
you go to sleep.
Yeah. And then Friday, before work, art. After work is after work from 5, because I get off at 5 until 8. I don't have anything planned. But usually from 5 to 8, I'm hanging out with my friend Duck, and we're watching Baggage or something like that. And then from 8 to 10, I'm playing games with my friends Josh and Janelle. Which usually leads to Saturday being a not getting anything done in the morning. Yep. Not getting anything done in the morning.
Gotcha.
And then after Saturday, it's typically there's there's some sort of D&D or something going on, or some sort of hanging out with friends. Because everybody that I spend time with have the weekends off like normal people.
Right.
And then Sunday is a work day unless something changes. And same with Monday. Excuse me. Sunday has a chance to be more of a hanging out day, but Monday is usually always just a work day. But it's just weird that my brother has today off because it's Columbus Day. And he works at a bank, so they have that off.
Well, normally, I mean, I guess I always assumed Monday was a day where, at least from the past, you said that you just kind of like do stuff until like people ask you to do stuff, and then you just kind of like go with the flow. So which is it? And do you have so you don't have a set day where you just deny everybody?
No, I don't.
Okay. So then, I guess, like for me, all my time is front loaded. So like, even if I sleep in a little bit, I still can find 2 hours somewhere to work on something. Because between I have from when I leave work to when I have to be back the next day is generally 15 hours in between. So that's sleep, wake up, whatever, if I need to relax, if I need to unwind. A lot of the problems with a lot of the inefficiencies of the way that you have to do it right now is subject to the whim of how you feel at X o'clock in the morning when you wake up. It's like, are you groggy? Are you tired? Do you wish you could sleep? Or, the efficiency of inefficiency.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand how that can be. And that's just kind of the nature. And yeah, you got D&Ds and TCRGs and all of that and the afters. Or whatever they're called. TCRPGs, sorry.
TCGs, trading card games.
Oh, okay. Well, you said TCRPG once.
I said TTRPG.
Oh, sorry. I don't care to hear about what these mean.
Tabletop role-playing game. Like
okay,
D&D's a TTRPG.
Okay. Yeah, well, more garbage.
More trash to throw in your schedule, Joe.
Wake your life on. No, it's fine. And so yeah, I mean, you have people in your life, you got things to do. I understand. Fool. No. I guess. A lot of the times Monday, I don't know. I haven't heard a lot of Mondays working straight. I've heard a lot of Monday and then stuff happens and you didn't do much on Monday. So how many times would you really say that Monday turns into a like, and what would you even define as a full work day? So
Yeah, no, that's fair.
tell me the truth there,
So last Monday, not this.
Give
not
me an
today.
average. I don't need to hear about last Monday. Just what
Well,
what do you really do on
I'm trying
your
to find out
Mondays?
the average on my side.
Oh, okay.
Um, I wish my memory wasn't so bad. So I would say probably. I mean, let's be being realistic. I would say probably on average, maybe 3 hours of work on a Monday.
Okay.
I think that's a fair estimation.
Okay. And is it random who you spend time with to fill in those gaps?
No, it's typically nobody. I mean, until like around 5, maybe 6, maybe someone will want to play games or something. But it'll probably end up being either distracting myself or
Okay.
today my brother's coming over, so that's a whole thing.
All right. Well, that isn't an average though. So an average
Yeah.
3 hours on that day, and that's kind of like, I mean, if I had to look at your schedule, that would be the glaring one to attack.
Work on.
I understand. I would understand, rando situations like the one that's going on today.
Yeah.
But in general, looking at your week, realizing how things could be when you wake up early in the morning, how much real meat are you getting? Obviously, the amount of hours, like if you actually worked 2 hours every one of the days that you kind of said, that would be like at least 11. So there has to be some inefficiency involved in that, because I would imagine that in 11 hours you probably would have finished the face if you were really working straight 11
there's
hours.
no way I worked 11 hours this week.
So that tells me, yes, you get up on these days and you try to get some work done. I understand that's good, but you really need a day where you basically, you are an artist. That's the simplest way I can put it. If you did that, you would take away the sleep problem. You could sleep in, it still wouldn't be a problem. You get up, you could solve whatever it is that day that you need to do. Oh, I need to finish that face. Well, that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing the face. And you're enjoying the process, but you almost, unless there's a really big rando situation like Columbus Day scenario, apparently, I would have to say the easiest way to solve your problems would be to pretend like, on Monday you're dead to everybody, and maybe at the end of the night, after, you've completed your thing. I mean, basically that's kind of what I think is that's probably the easiest way to solve your problems, is to have one day where you kind of do it. You exist in that world of Um, you know, I'm this is art day, art mode. This is who I am. I'm an artist on I'm a pro artist on Monday, and if you did that, I think it would shore up a lot of problems. That's
Yeah.
probably how I would attack it.
Add some more. Yeah, I mean, seeing, and also there's like this level of like seeing progress getting done promotes more progress. Like makes you excited to do more. So yeah, having a big chunk of time dumped into it would be really helpful. So yeah, I agree.
But that takes a real commitment, That takes the discipline to be able to go, you know what? Okay, that's phones get muted. I I don't really I don't get on Discord, you know. I
I mean, there's
I
nobody. There's nobody.
you
They're all
know,
doing stuff. Like they're working. So there's nothing. There's no
yeah,
distractions.
right, but you still that isn't the picture you paint. So you just either distract yourself or potentially you might even be looking for distraction,
Yeah, I think that's probably
depending.
more the culprit than anything.
So you have to get to that point where you change modes and you go, this is the meat of this person that I want to be. This is the day. This is the one. And that's kind of the test, is if you can do it for one day, and really start to get into that like mode, then you can do it. You just tack on days. Okay. But I say it's almost a requirement, because I mean, if you want to potentially do this for even a job, I'm showing my portfolio and I get hired as an artist or something. Well, you need to be able to do this. So it's like, jumping into that job one day a week and getting used to it and becoming the workflow of that one day. So, yeah, that's probably the change I would make, is to make it
Put more
set
time into
apart.
Monday. Yeah,
Yeah, not even put more time in it. Like, set it apart. Like, make it something different. Define it differently. And yeah, set it apart and be and that is the day where you can be free as an artist. And then make that what you do on Monday. And those other things, they are the anomalies. Um, and it might be hard at first, Might be some doom scrolling. There might be some, whatever.
I think that's what happened
Um,
last week was doom scrolling. Maybe
but
no, no, not last week. The week before that.
but
No, the week before that I finished the scales. I don't know.
well, you know, regardless, that's a big meat wall of time,
Yeah,
and that's kind of how I look at my Wednesdays. My Wednesdays, I see it as a block of time, that I try to get some real stuff done. And it's worked really well in that way, because it shores up a lot of different things. I wanted to get more done this week, but at least I got something done on Wednesday and a little bit on Thursday, I guess. I didn't do as much work. Normally, my Wednesdays are pretty stinking full. They're like, you know, they're usually a normal work day worth of work or more. That's my average. This week, I'll have to admit, my Wednesday, I dragged ass, okay, because I felt like I needed a break, and so I did the minimum. You know, I worked, but I did not want to, and I knew that. I judged myself, and I'm like, dude, it's because you need a break. You need a day off. You need to have one damn day in the last month that you can actually say you had off. Mm-hmm. And you don't have any requirements. And so that's kind of what I made the next day. I'm like, okay, well, I'm obviously pulling myself back. And the more I fight this, the more I'm just going to do this. So I just did it. And then it just unfortunately fell apart after that.
Yeah.
But the case is made that, you know, your Monday, it's the work day for your art. You know? Yeah, you're not being paid for it yet. But you're being paid in the future for it. I wouldn't feel good normally on a Wednesday if I didn't feel like I had a lot of hours in there. That's kind of how I feel. I hope that maybe you do that kind of a thing on next Monday, and maybe try it out and see how that bolsters every other day too. And then if you slump, those other days, it doesn't matter as much because you have the meat of that day off, you know. So anyway, all that blah blah blah. What do you think about all that?
I think it'd be good to have a big day. Well, to me, like I want all the things. I love having the time in the morning to get things done because it makes the rest of the day just feel easier. Because it's like when I'm at work, I'm like, well, now that I'm getting paid more, I don't hate it as much. It's amazing how much your monetary value affects how tolerable your job is.
Right.
But it does make it easier to make it through the day when there's like clearly an avenue of escape that you're working on that very morning. So I do like having those early mornings. To me, those are invaluable. And then whatever happens on Sunday, like the default is working on Sunday, and whatever happens besides that is, you know, whatever. But then having Monday as just like almost strictly from when we get done with our podcast till about 5. That's a huge chunk of time. And that's what I'm gonna basically consider my work, my art time. Mm. Other than like switching laundry over. Because I gotta do some laundry. But yeah. I think that's a good amount of time. Well, it'll be either I'll add if I need to, I'll add to it because I want to be in a place soonish where I'm completing a illustration a week. Because in the past, and granted these are a lot simpler illustrations, I did an illustration in a day. Like I started and finished one in a day.
Well,
so if I can spend the 16 hours it's going to take me to complete an illustration in a week, then
I think you need to shelf your perfection there for a second. I mean, yes. Why am I the one saying this? Okay.
What do you mean?
That is exactly the mentality I would be looking at. However, it's not a good approach. You need to, first of all, get one done and know how long that took. And then your next goal should be decrease the time. Not giving yourself this 1 week thing. Okay, is you have started this Lamia before the 27th of August. You think you're going to get it done in 1 week after that?
Well, I mean, no, but
Give me a break. It doesn't make logical sense. You've taken a long time to get this one done. Just get this done. Like, obviously, that's the next step. And then once you get it done, take a moment, and think about everything. And then get the next one done faster. And have that goal as a week for, but you'll know when you can do it in a week. And honestly, I see no chance of you doing it in a week right now, just based on how you're doing this one. And that's not a kick at you. That's a just look at the math, man. And just unless you change a variable severely, unless you are not being realistic with the amount of actual work that you're doing, then you need to just chill out and concentrate on doing this next one more efficiently, faster, getting your workflow better, and just shave off a lot of that time. I mean, so yeah. So forget about the week. Let's first get an end to this one. How close are you to the end of this one? Where are you at? When are you going to be done with this one, do you think?
So I gotta go over the line art and then start coloring my Lamia, and then put in a background and color the background. Do some post-rendering stuff. I don't know exactly how much left, but a good chunk. I mean, coloring.
Yeah, and coloring is not just coloring based on what you were saying. You have to learn how to color people.
Yeah,
right?
Skin colors.
So that doesn't sound like a 1-day episode either.
No. Yeah.
So, dude, don't even talk to me about a week.
It's gonna take me a week, James. It's take me a week.
Take you a week.
So I'm gonna be done in a week. For
sure.
I
mean, because it's you're on schedule to maybe get done with this first one in 2 months.
What about that week?
So just get better.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah. I mean realistically, yes. That's the right call is hold on. Yeah, okay, we're good. Realistically, I should be focusing, because I'm learning a process just doing the process, getting through what it's going to take to actually finish a piece, and then move into trying to be more efficient with it. So yeah, I mean, yes, it's gonna be a struggle for a while, because I'm learning a lot of things. But these things that I'm learning are the reason I'm doing illustrations one right after the other. Because this is the type of stuff I need to learn. There's a lot of stepping stones that I need to learn. Not only in the process of the creation, like how to do it, how to draw, and then not only that, but also how to draw these specific things. There's also like, how do I, like, external things, like how to keep motivation for these things, how to schedule time and actually work on them like an appropriate time, an appropriate amount of time.
Yeah, because I mean, you said you work like maybe 20 hours each week on this type of thing. That can't be accurate.
No.
It can't be accurate.
No. I would say realistically this week I probably worked about 8-ish hours.
Okay, because I mean, since the time that you began this Lamia, that would be 180 hours. I mean, there's no damn way you wouldn't have finished a piece of art unless you're the slowest What are you, like, grinding the pencils yourself? And it's like, no way. So, honestly, I think a lot of this can be solved by actually making Mondays a real work day for art, And why don't you just make Sunday a stinking... why are you even trying to work on Sunday? Just make Sunday your stinking... I'm going to do as much with my freaking friends as I can. Pack them in there. Enjoy it. And then leave Monday all alone. Don't let these things interfere on Monday. Leave yourself in art. And because otherwise you're going to be looking forward to 5 o'clock p.m. when you can just do other things. And I mean, I don't know. You'd have to... I guess you'd have to gauge it, but... I don't know. I push towards a solid day, but that's just kind of the way I am. I like to not have anything interfering.
Mm-hmm.
If you think you can manage it correctly, go for it.
I'll have to try it out. I'll have to try it out and figure out what works.
But so far, the something's not adding up. So, mathematically. And so, I'm hearing what you say, but the numbers don't make sense to me. So
to be fair, those scales took me a very, very long time. Like a very, very long time. Because I had to restart like 3 separate times. And then I had to... Yeah, the scales were a nightmare. But they're done. They're completely done. I don't even have to go back over them with lines because I knew I wasn't going to want to. So I just did them in that way. Like I did them fine-lined.
But you're talking about what you're doing. I'm talking about the logistics of actually how you're positioning your week. And something doesn't add up mathematically based on what you're doing here. So, you need to have a chunk of time where you're an artist and you deal with all artist problems. You need to understand what it's like to be an artist, like a whole day. That will bring you to the next level. Unless there are things that are happening on Monday that you cannot replace into a different day.
There's nothing happening on Monday other than today, but in general, I don't have anything planned on Mondays.
Okay. Then what happens at 5? When, like you said, till 5. What happens after that?
As far as I know, nothing happens. But I mean, maybe a friend will reach out and we'll want to play some games or something.
Okay. Well, I think you kind of know what I'm saying, and I'm feeling a little pushback on it. So you're not ready for that. Okay. Well, if you're not ready to take a whole day and be an artist the whole day, even in your mind, even after, up to the night, up to the time you go to bed, you're an artist, feeling the whole problem, seeing what it is, jumping in that reality, then so be it. I hope it's enough. You'll know. I mean, you can't hide from it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the progress will show itself.
So yeah. I mean, I've made the case for doing that. If you
and it's been noted. I don't know if I want to take a whole day for it.
Well, you're gonna have to take many whole days for it, right? If that's what you want to do. So think about that. The faster you can get the benefits of one day, the more quickly you will get the benefits of being able to do it for your life. That's kind of the way I see it. It's like I'm willing to sacrifice one day a week. Except for this week. This week I needed a damn break. But I'm willing to sacrifice generally one day a week. That is what I do. I work. It really helps to frame everything else. But you know, if your mind doesn't go and latch onto that, which usually the blank stare means that, then I'm not gonna push for it. I'm just looking at your week, seeing the times you have, actually looking at the progress you've made over the course of since August, all of, and those are like serious days off. Like those are like, days off. Then all of September, and now all of October that we've been through, just half of it. And the 1 week piece is turning into the 2 month plus piece. And in my mind, looking at your schedule, looking at everything you're saying, take one damn day and be an artist. And it's probably going to solve all your problems. That's my final rebuttal on that's the most I can do to help you. You have to choose to be an artist one damn day. Make it your Monday. Make it who you are. And it will change everything. Maybe you can do it without that, but you'll know in time if you can't, and maybe then you'll go, okay, maybe there's something to this, and I've got to figure out why it matters. So that's it.
Yeah, I think keep an eye on progress and then adding more time if needed.
Yeah, you trivialize what I say all the time by summarizing it. It is not that summary that you said. It is much more complicated, and it is much more a cascade and a catalyst effect than it is your summary. Do not degrade it by summarizing it. It is powerful, and it is pointed, and it is much more. It is not just more time. It is how the time is structured. It is what the block of time does. It is the framing of it. It is many more variables than what you're summarizing it to be. That's what I got to say about that.
Okay. Cool.
Because I feel like sometimes you trivialize, I say all these variables and then you just like, oh, it's just this and this, right? No, it isn't. It isn't just that and that.
Well,
It is
so
all of it.
sometimes I do end up trying to reiterate what you say, so I can make sure I'm trying to confirm with you that that is what you meant. So, because sometimes you end up going on tangents, and I forget a lot, and so I'm trying to re-summarize it in a way that makes sense for me
Well, then the summary of
and
it
the
would be
audience.
take a whole damn day and get it done. That's the summary. And that will change your life. That's the summary. It isn't just do more time. No, it's not. It is not that at all. You missed the whole mark if that's what you heard. It is define a day where you are an artist, and that's going to turn into the possibility of being an artist for many more days, actually being an artist, like for what you do. But unless you choose to be an artist one day, you will never be an artist for two. You will never be an artist for more than that. You have to choose to be like the role that you want to be, from sun up till sundown, at some point. And yeah, you got to eat, you got to do all these things, but like existing in the problem the whole time, it's not the same as a few hours each day. It's not. It's a totally different experience. And it builds a different kind of problem solving scenario. It's like it's like preparing yourself for the hike. You need, yeah, anybody can walk for 2 hours. Can you make it up that mountain though? Like all day? Like can you hike all day? That takes different mental connections, and it takes different ups and downs, and different moods, and being able to control all that. And it allows for you to solve problems that you couldn't solve in 2 hours. And that's the problem, is that a lot of your problems are not 2 hour problems. Doing this face is not a 2 hour problem. The scales were not a 2 hour problem. They could have been a day problem, though. You might have been able to solve it if you had defined a day. You might have been able to solve it because it might have just been something that, after you have studied that thing for that whole time that day, it made sense and you knew. And these are all hypotheticals, but I've seen it happen in my own situation, that it's not just the small little things. It's also the just existing in a long period of time in that realm. And it's something like telling yourself you're not going to give up until, it's like, man, I'm working on this until I'm done for the day, until I'm collapsed, until is a different set of being. I don't know. But anyway, it excites me, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't think I get the same level of excitement for that type of stuff like you do. Like, you get very excited about being the artist, being the writer, doing these, like, becoming these things, I see myself already as those things. And so for me, it's more of a formula, like more time equals more output. Practice makes better art. It's more formulaic for me.
Yeah, I mean, those are kind of cliches, but you know, it is a business approach. It is if you want to be serious about it, you got to be serious about it. You gotta. And so, yeah, you know, you say it like being it, but really it's like, okay, well, if you want to do this for a living, you got to make the time to do it for a living. And the only way to do that is take a day and actually do it. Like, that's what you do. It's not some, you know, I don't sit here and pretend I'm an artist and think about those things, except when I'm talking about it. This is what I've chosen to do. Time to do it, you know, and it's as simple as that. It isn't. Yeah, it can be mentally fun if you know, and I'd play those tricks on myself. Yeah, it's fun to be that role, but that's not what you're thinking while you're doing it. It's like you're just choosing. You're choosing to do the damn work, you know? And
so you're saying that working from let's say 9 to 5 is different than just saying, "Oh, this is my day"?
You know what? If you actually go from 9 to 5 each time, but I doubt you have. I mean, if you can tell me you've worked 9 to 5 all these Mondays, practically, like on average, that's what you're doing, I'll drop my stinking. But come on, man, is that what you're really saying?
I'm asking you a question.
No, I'm asking you.
No, there's no way I've worked 9 to 5.
Okay, well then you're giving me like, oh, what's the difference? I'll tell you, there's a difference. And since you haven't even done the 9 to 5, how would you know? There is a difference, because
I'll start there then.
It's well, that's a great start. And if you're able to do that, maybe that's all you need. You know, maybe it is. But it probably will be. But jumping in that life and really having that huge block of time, it's going to make a big difference. I guess if it's 9 to 5, it's 9 to 5, but that's a full work day, you know. Hey, now personally, I block the whole day in, and that's kind of, you know, the way I do it, but that's just the way I do it. Sure, you want to go 9 to 5? Hey, great. You know, I'm not gonna say, you know, the difference between 9 and 5 and what I'm talking about. I can't make a case. I could give you some possibilities, but I'm not going to be able to prove it to you the way that you want me to, you know. So I think that would be yourself. You're like, hey, do it one day. See what you think. You know.
Have a baseline doing the 9 to 5 and then comparing it to making it just the day. I think it'd be a good comparison. I still need to work on the 9 to 5 thing first. So.
Yeah. But I mean, and this is all just based on, looking at your schedule, looking at the time it's taken you to do your first one. Granted, it was a lot of learning and a lot of things, but
Still is.
how much is the next one going to be? The same kind of thing. I mean, it's not like you'll be a master at painting skin. It's not like you'll be a master at, some of these things. It'll still take some time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I don't expect this. I don't expect it to be speeding up. It should be speeding up quite a bit, but not it shouldn't be that much faster. But it should be a steady growth to speeding up until you get to a good point.
And I mean, you're looking at this perfection of, 1 week, I want to have something done. And I'm trying to make you see the realism to that. And I think I maybe have. And then I'm talking about the extreme should be, jumping into the seriousness of what you're doing. And I understand if there's a little bit of pushback to that, but take a look at your week, man. You spend time with people. You do things with people. When are you going to take one day for yourself? And be who you want to be. That's my case for it. It's just that. Take a day for yourself and be that damn artist that you want to be. And don't let anything get in its way unless it's special. And whether it's just 9 to 5, and even if afterwards, you just take some time and reflecting on what you've done, that's fine. But it will change you having those big blocks of time. And it may solve some of your problems. And other than that, there's nothing I can do. I mean, I can't, there's nothing to attack in what you're doing. You're doing everything you can do realistically in your life. The only thing you can do is separate one day and be that damn artist and push yourself to the limits. That's it. That's all I can say.
All right. Yeah. I think depending on I don't know what time my brother's going to be getting over here, but I'm planning on getting some more work done today. But then, yeah, scheduling at least 9 to 5 next week on Monday to get some stuff done, to get some real hefty block of time in.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, just a matter of time till it's done, I guess. And so yeah. When is SakuraCon?
I do not know.
That is something to figure out. You have these goals that you want to do later on. Well, you need to take the first step. Find out at least when those goals could happen. And then on that day where you are an artist, that's where it's like, I think about all these things. It's like, okay, well, where's my, and so you need to look at those longer terms. I don't know, if you'll be ready for SakuraCon this next year, but dang it, you take a day every week from now on, you might be. So it depends on how much you want these things too. Find out when they are, and then go, what life do I really want?
So the way you just explained it, the way you just mentioned SakuraCon. So let me see if I can re-summarize what you were saying before about becoming the artist. it's not about just, you know, like doing the art as the artist.
Right.
It's about looking at all aspects of being the artist. And so that includes
Exactly.
like Sakura Con, like price of prints, all of this stuff. And you're not just adding time to the creation, you're considering all the other factors.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't get that from what you said until you used the Sakura Con example. Like, to me, it sounded like it was you should just spend the whole day working on art, which I mean, I'm not against that. Like, I think that's important. But I didn't pull from what you said as I didn't pull that from what you said. And so it's a completely different perspective on it.
Yes, it's like, you know, the business of doing an artist is so many facets.
Yeah.
Be the artist for a day. You know, segregate that time where you are an artist and you can think about all those aspects of everything, all the problems going. And if you work hard that day, you're reflecting on that too, and you're trying to, you know, there is an infinite amount of things to work on as an artist. But you will find if you jump in that role one day, a whole day, you're going to make real progress. And that's the meat of the progress that I make is I've segregated my times.
So I feel like progress is disingenuous. I feel like the word progress. I feel like I want to break that down a little bit because it sounds like if I was to take the time and, you know, become the artist, using your phrase, it would make things tangible. It would make things, it would, so like, let's say, for example, right, my goal is to create illustrations and go sell them in Artist Alley at, you know, cons. So it would be, okay, how much is it going to cost to like rent a booth? What kind of supplies should I bring? How much is it going to cost to do this and that and this? How much is this? How much is the average sales amount? Like finding that information out. And like it makes like a dream. It brings it down and makes it tangible so you can attack the little pieces as you need to. It makes a goal tangible. It turns it from oh, I'm going to do this one day to, okay, well, how am I going to do this? Which I think I feel like is understated with the word progress.
Yeah. You may be right. Every single profession is much more complex than probably what we can just summarize in a word.
Yeah. That wasn't an attack on you. I just wanted to break that down for the listeners and viewers because I think it should have been stated. Like it's.
So I guess I'll
merit in it.
Say becoming the artist or whatever, I guess, is the easiest way I can think about it. It's like every facet that is giving yourself the time. It's like, you know, when your mind wanders, you know, just about random stuff, like when you're doing stuff. By being in the mode of the artist for a whole day, And by framing it that way, you are more likely to have your mind wander about those things than you would rando things. You're more likely, by defining your day as an art day, to figure out those things than you would any other time, is what I'm going to say. You're telling your brain, this is the facet we are today. And you will solve some of those problems. The myriad of problems that are an artist, you allow yourself a day to be that and think about those things. You will muse about that more often. It's like when, hey, we want to go out to get something to eat. Where do you want to eat? You know? I don't know. Okay, well, do you want to go to Taco Bell or you want to go to Burger King? Okay, and now your brain has something to actually think about. You can make a choice. Well, framing that day as an art day, you are the artist. You're working on art. You know, you're sitting on the couch and you're thinking about, okay, well, you know, hey, I haven't picked a, you know, I'm kind of bored right now, but you know what? I'm gonna pick up that easel. You know, you're more likely to do those things because you have reduced what you can work on. And I guess that's one of the many reasons why I think you're going to find, if you do that, you will make leaps and bounds as an artist. And this is the best advice I can give you to change everything. That's my case. There's many more things that you're going to find, I'm sure.
Yeah. Alrighty. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we close it out here?
I'm going to say I'm going to have a great week next week because I did not like how things turned out. So I am going to turn that around and magnify. That's what I'm going to do.
Nice. I'm going to have a good week as well. I am going to hopefully get a bunch of coloring done. At least put in some base colors and start practicing some skin tones.
Nice.
Should be fun.
Excellent.
Alrighty. You guys, you have yourselves a good week too. If you want to get yelled at by James, join the Discord.
Yes.
It is a paid service. It will cost $25 for every 15 minutes.
What?
But what? I'm just, giving options out.
Oh wait, Discord's free.
Well, yeah, but to get yelled at by James costs money. Discord's free.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Hopefully you didn't feel like I was being cruel or something, but
No, you just
all right.
a little yelly. But
Well, separate the me and me being a jerk the way I am, and the information. I think it's gonna help. That's all. Sometimes I'm very. It's like always like so obvious to me sometimes, but it's like I don't know how to say it. to like be nice. It's like I'm blunt as a really big hammer, and that's about it. You know, it's like, hey, get work done by being this. You know, I don't know. Sorry.
I think a way to improve communication is giving examples and like maybe facets from your own experiences that help maybe contextualize what you're saying.
Well, I've always thought I kind of really explained, but maybe I don't do it well enough.
I think you're a good explain. So okay,
I like try
If
to
you
take
would-
you down a story so you can kind of understand how all these pieces come together and combine and why they're necessary. I guess that's the way I think about things.
and I think you do a good job explaining things. I think it's just, you know, that thing I mentioned where someone says something and you hear it a lot and then it doesn't click until you've learned the lesson, like through a different means.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what's going on. And so like I want to bridge that gap where like giving examples or in explaining it in a different way or breaking it down into its component parts, I think can stop that gap. Or at least hopefully it can. So I don't know, just that's why
Well,
I try
sometimes
to break
asking
things
the
down.
right questions, you know, about how those things break down, I mean,
Exactly.
can matter so much. You know, because I mean, yeah, I mean, well, it's obvious there's some pushback, you know, on making a whole day an art day. I don't know if there's necessarily pushback right this moment because maybe a little bit is understood now in your mind about how those could really benefit you. But you know, there's not a lot I can do if there's an unwillingness to try, you know, what I'm suggesting. And I could break it down more and more, but if you already have that, you know, that mindset, you're not going to do it, then, you know, you're the one that should be asking the questions. But I can definitely try to not to use.
Could you roll your eyes more? No, go ahead. I'll wait.
And I didn't even realize I rolled my eyes.
Yeah. They went all the way back.
I guess, you know, yeah, we could probably break things down a little bit more and define things in different special ways all the time.
Okay.
It takes a lot of mental energy to do that.
It is, but I think it's worth it to get these ideas across. Because like, if you would have been like, so for example, so like you're like, I want to make it so that I become the artist for the day, right? And I'm going to, so that means I'm going to, you know, break down what's going to take to accomplish these goals. Like for example, I know that it costs me 10 cents to put something up, and I'm going to, you know, calculate how much that's worth in this situation. Not necessarily working on the creation project alone, but like, this is what you sound like to me. But the that's other stuff. And if you would have said it more like that, it's like, okay, well, that makes sense to me. Like, there's a.
Well, you never asked me what my day is like.
Well,
What am
when
I?
you're
Why?
when these
Why
doing
am I?
these long rants about things, I expect examples. I expect. Give me examples.
Well, all right. Yeah, hopefully I gave you enough of examples. Kind of. I mean, today maybe. I don't know.
What examples? You gave me zero examples.
Okay, fine.
I want you guys to go in the comments and tell me how many examples he gave me, because I feel like it was zero. He says he gave me plenty. Maybe zero is plenty.
Well, okay, fine, yeah. When let's take like during a shoot, me and Heather will be working for hours and hours. And while we're doing that, maybe we, one of us thinks of like, oh, well, what if, for like this, the ad scenario, what about this, and we'll just things like that will come up all the time. Like, how do we tweak this business element, or how do we, do this? And so there's always this kind of like different things that pop up during the day. And maybe a lot of the times it'll be like during like the breaks, like, oh, we've done a certain set, I have sit down, take 5 minutes. And then during that 5 minutes, we might actually go like, oh, well, I was thinking about this, and then that turns into a whole conversation, maybe that takes a little bit, maybe it takes a half an hour for us to like fully express what the possibilities are over there. And maybe we nix it, or maybe we go with it. Then talking about, the future, being in that mode, like all day, basically, it allows for your mind to wander about all aspects of it. And it isn't just work all the time. It is just, it's allowing your mind to live within a framework of the artist, and by narrowing that scope, it's like chance favors the prepared mind. When you are focused in observing that realm, you will see those things you need to see. They will pop up. And over time, you will solve a lot. Many days of that, and it won't take long until you have figured out the prices for CyclerCon. You will figure out what the questions are that you don't even know yet, so that the next time you can. So, but being in that realm and not allowing yourself to get out, like that is who you are this day. You will be like truly, that's who you will be. And that inspires you the next day too. It's like, oh, you get better at it. You get better at it. Mm-hmm. And you find ways, and you find thought trails that you enjoy more and more as you go and exist in that day. And there are so many benefits that I can't, describe how many there are. You'll find benefits that I've not talked about, I'm sure. So anyway, yeah, it is a totally different mode. That can be very inspiring.
Nice.
And get you through many, many problems that you just probably haven't given enough time to figure out, and given your mind enough space to daydream on it, So, but if you give yourself a day to do it, yeah, you will be surprised what you'll figure out, I'm sure. So that's the big case for it.
Yeah. I think it's definitely worth giving it a shot, just because it sounds like a good way to also break up the week in a, like, throughout the week. It's like you have these little bit of hours that you because assuming you're working a full-time job, you don't have all the time in the world. You spend these hours that you do get on creation, but then having a day set aside for specifically not only creation, but also the other aspects of what you're trying to do. I think it's invaluable.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well then, thank you guys very much for listening. We will be back next week with more examples. And James yelling at us. Have yourselves a wonderful week. Bye.
Bye.